You're listening to the voices behind Women's Cricket Chat. That's Hannah, Georgie, Cassie, Mahika and Alex. Coming up on today's podcast...
Hello everyone and welcome to this episode of Women's Cricket Chat with me, Georgie and Alex, and we are absolutely buzzing today to be joined from across the oceans. You can't see on a podcast, but she is enjoying a lot more sunshine than we are. We've got the wonderful Jemma Barsby joining us today. Adelaide strikers, ambidextrous, just a bit of an all-round legend if you ask us. So thank you so much for joining us, Jemma. And we've managed to work out a 10.5-hour time difference. So I actually think that's already an achievement in itself today. It's only 9 a.m. and I'm already giving today a big tick. But welcome to Women's Cricket Chat.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
So we'll just dive on straight into it. How are things going at the moment in the Women's Big Bash? We've been trying to keep up, obviously, time difference and all that kind of stuff. And there's just match after match. But how are things going for you and the strikers at the moment?
Yeah, we've had a kind of up and down season. We've probably struggled in a few games where we probably should have won. Where even say on the last game we played against the Brisbane Heat, we restricted them to quite a good total, and then unfortunately we lost. I think like 7 for 29. So yeah, we've probably been a mixed bag at the moment where we seem to get one facet of the game right, but not all three together. So yeah, we've got 2 more games this weekend. So we go to Sydney tomorrow, and then hopefully if we win those 2 and a couple of results go our way, then we're in the semis.
And it is quite a hectic schedule, isn't it? You seem to be flying all over the place. How do you manage that?
Yeah, it is pretty hectic. You kind of forgot how hectic it can be from flying everywhere and just with the games and stuff, especially because of the last couple of years with COVID and not traveling as much. So it has been that a bit strange again this year, but it's kind of we've got really good coaching staff around where they kind of listen to how we're feeling and how we're going, and making a lot of trainings optional. So if you're not feeling like you'd have to go, then you don't have to. So it's quite good of getting just that mix together.
And obviously, you used to previously play for the Brisbane Heat. How much of a driving passion and fire is it whenever you come up against them on the opposition that you just, you really want to beat them?
Yeah, absolutely. You always want to get on top of them and have bragging rights. And yeah, we won that first game against them in Brizzy, and then yeah, unfortunately we lost to them the on Monday night. Yeah, it's 1-1 now, but so it's kind of level playing field. But yeah, it is always nice to get on top of them, and you always find that extra desire to win those games.
And obviously you've got quite a few international stars in there at the strikers. It sounds like I'm mixing all my names. You've got some incredible talent there at the strikers from all over the world. What's it like to now have everyone back post-COVID, and how much do you all bounce off each other and pick up stuff off each other as you're playing?
Yeah, it's really cool. It's exciting to have Laura Woolvard back, and then to have the first time having Deandra Dotton around the girls. So it's cool to have those internationals and just their experience and show and watch how they go about things. It's pretty cool, and yeah, it's something we've definitely missed. And yeah, the Big Bash definitely goes very quickly over this. So it's kind of just trying to soak everything in as much as you can and just enjoy the time we are all together as a squad.
And what is the squad like? Is it great fun? Is it family? Who's the joker? That kind of thing. Because you've been there 2 years now, and what prompted that move as well?
Yeah, so this is my second season with the Strikers, and yeah, there's kind of it's kind of just a chilled, fun vibe type of group where we can hang out together, or we can just kind of chill out and know everything's all good. And I think probably the leaders of that is like Darcy Brown, where she loves to enjoy the social side of things but still have a good time with cricket. So yeah, I think we've got a good combination here where we still enjoy what we do, but also enjoy the fun times as well.
And not to be sniffed at all, you have played over 100 Women's Big Bash League matches. How crazy is that to think that when you were just starting out and now you've played over 100, so you're like one of the prestige players now?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, to be honest. I definitely, when it first started, definitely didn't think of that I would be able to achieve that. So to be able to achieve that, it's pretty special. And to be associated with 3 different clubs over that time, it's pretty cool to have all that experience in those different situations and environments. And yeah, I kind of still pinch myself that I've played over 100 games in the Big Bash.
And how much has the tournament changed since you first joined? It seems to just get bigger and better every year.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been fortunate, I think, since the first one. Obviously, the increased funding that we've been able to achieve over those years has definitely helped us improve our game and improve the quality of cricket that we're able to produce. So yeah, it would be awesome to go back and watch one of the games from the first season just to see how much it has changed and how much like better the quality is.
And women's cricket has grown exponentially probably since the start of the Women's Big Bash. We've now got that. We've got the regional setup in England. We've got the 100. And crowds are getting bigger and bigger. Is that something you've noticed, a shift since you started playing and to now? Because obviously crowds are getting there in England, but I feel like in Australia, you guys are about 5 steps ahead of us.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's still kind of like pinch yourself moment again, where especially when I first started playing at this level where no one knew who you were, no one would come. It was just family members and a couple of friends that would come and watch you, to now having genuine supporters in the crowd. It's still that kind of like that surreal moment. And yeah, the crowds are getting better, like bigger and better. And yeah, you can kind of get caught up in it, trying to embrace, and especially when you're playing in an away side and you start getting sprayed by the opposite, by the crowd and stuff, which is kind of a cool experience to do. And it's just learning from those situations and embracing that. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Hopefully the women's cricket continues to grow and the crowds get even bigger.
And you've been involved in it obviously for a long time now, over 100 matches. What's been your highlight of your Women's Big Bash career so far?
Oh, that's a tough one. I'd probably have to say, obviously, we when I was back with the Heat, we won the title in, I think it was like '04 or something like that. So to be able to win the comp there was pretty special. And I think just the team around that, and then I guess ticking off the milestones around that, and being able to represent different franchises and seeing how they operate as well. So yeah, I think the standout is winning that title with the Brisbane Heat.
And you mentioned their franchises. There's obviously a lot of talk in the world of cricket, the F word, the franchise, popping up everywhere. But for women's cricket, it's an amazing thing. There are different ones all over the world now. Would you like to go and get involved in more of those, perhaps, in the pipeline, the women's IPL, if you could get a shot in that, or, get going with the 100 and the women's CPL, the PSL, they're going everywhere. How much would you like to fly overseas and get involved in those ones?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'd be silly if we weren't finding out the opportunity to go over there. Obviously, you have to perform over here to have a look over there, because the quality over there is pretty amazing too. So you have to perform in the Big Bash to even get a look over there, especially when you're kind of on that fringe of not in the Aussie setup or anything like that. So you have to kind of stand out from there. But it'd be an absolutely amazing opportunity if those opportunities did arise, and it would definitely take with both hands.
And also, as well as being a talented cricketer, you also do have a job outside of cricket. So tell us a little bit about that. And we just really want to know how you balance having a non-cricketing job alongside your cricketing job.
Yeah, so I haven't probably worked in about 3 months, just because obviously with Big Bash, but I just enjoy it just to get away from cricket. Obviously, cricket can be such a mental game, especially when your side or yourself's not going well. So it's I've always just enjoyed it, just to, if I work 1 day, 2 days a week, just to go out there and just get away from cricket. The people don't know who I am, so I just go there and I'm working in a cafe / bakery here in Adelaide, so I kind of just go there and serve people coffees and sweets and stuff, and they have no idea who I am, so I can kind of get away from the sport and just recoup and relax that way.
How good is your latte art?
It's not too bad. It's definitely not over the top, but I can do a couple of love hearts and stuff like that. So yeah, that's probably the extreme. I can't do swans or anything like that, unfortunately.
And let's be honest, everyone just shoves sugar in it anyway and then stirs them away. My beautiful artwork, oh my gosh. Did the girls in the team ever get you to put the coffees together?
So I remember, I think it was when I stayed with Megan Stewart a couple of years ago, when I first moved over here, I was making coffees for her and a partner and showing the latte art and stuff like that. So whenever, I think, and then a few girls have been into work at the where I'm working at the moment. So definitely try and put some latte art into it to show them. But it's kind of here and there.
And so your latte art makes you a woman of many talents: cricket, coffee, all of the above. And we know cricketers love coffee, but you are a woman of many talents on the pitch too, and we can't avoid the topic of the ambidextrous bowling. So can you give us a bit of a background of how this came about, please? Because sometimes I try and throw left-handed and it's like I'm trying to throw with my foot. But you just rock up the bowl, right, left, and just switch hitting. How did this come about and why was it a thing?
Yeah, so I established it in like the front yard cricket with my brother. So I got an older brother, and for ages there, I could never get him out. So, and I'd always go in crying to mum and dad that he wouldn't let me bat. So I remember just one day, I decided to, I don't know what came across me, but decided to bowl left arm, and dad was out on the balcony and he said, "Did you just bowl that left-handed?" And I was like, yeah. He's like, "Do it again." And then I guess ever since then I knew I could do it, but I got a lot of criticism from people growing up from it being like, "Oh, that just means more work for you, puts pressure more on you," and stuff like that. So I kind of put it away for a few years, and it was coaches back in Queensland was really supportive of me, and that's when I kind of picked it up again of doing it. And then ever since moving to South Australia, Luke and the support staff have been on me to bowl it and been very supportive. So yeah, I've definitely worked hard on it the last year or so, and there's probably still a long way to go with it, but it's definitely getting more consistent than what it was.
But I think we also need to appreciate you are in a group of a select few that can do something so spectacular like bowl with both your hands. Like we know David Warner tried to bat both ways in the recent T20 World Cup, perhaps didn't pay off. In fact, it didn't. He got bowled around his legs. But, it's something that's so unique and special. And I definitely think people seeing you do this is going to inspire more people to, want to not just bowl both ways, but also just bowl in general.
Yeah, hopefully it's probably something I don't think of or don't think that it would affect people, but yeah, it's probably since it's kind of blown up the last couple of months, especially with how bowling it in the Big Bash, I probably realised that will start to probably persuade people to bowl some spin, and yeah, try even in the backyard, try and bowl both arms to their friends and family. So yeah, it is pretty cool and something that I probably haven't really stopped to think about of like how much of an impact it could have on someone.
I am 100% convinced spin has become cool again.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like it's gone full circle. So yeah,
exactly.
Got to embrace it while it's cool.
We also have over in England. Have you ever seen Marie Kelly playing? Because she also bowls ambidextrously. Basically, what we need to do is get the two of you in a team together and have you bowling in tandem, and the batters will just have absolutely no idea what is going on, what's coming down, and that would be the dream partnership. Let's make it happen. But
yeah,
if we just go back a little bit, and if we go back to where cricket started, you obviously mentioned you have an older brother, and obviously we know that your dad was professional cricketer. How did you decide that you were going to get into it in the first place? Did you ever feel that pressure, like, oh, dad does it, maybe I need to do it? Or was it just like, just what happened really?
No, I was very lucky that my parents were very supportive no matter what I decided to do. Obviously, I played hockey in the winter and cricket in the summer just to mix the sports up, and they absolutely had no pressure on me to pursue either or. It was just whatever I loved doing, and they were happy for me. And yeah, I remember rocking up to I think it was like an under sevens, like I think under sevens like with boys at the club there, and yeah, rocking up there and all the guys looking at me being like, who is this? And then playing with them until under 17s was pretty cool and pretty special. And I think just along the way there, building those relationships and friendships, that I kind of fell in love with cricket. And that's when I moved over to like the women's side of things and actually saw that there was a pathway there, and kind of got thrusted into it at a young age. So yeah, it was pretty it was very fortunate that my parents were very pushy.
And how did you find playing just with boys? Was there ever any stigmas or anything you had to overcome, like having to get changed in the toilets because there wasn't a changing room and that kind of thing?
It wasn't too bad. Obviously, you just kind of had to build the trust of the guys at the start that you could play. It was kind of just like once you broke that stigma of them, I guess accepting that you actually can play cricket, then they backed me like there was no tomorrow. I remember there was a few guys from opposition sledging me, and then my teammates coming in and like absolutely sledging them back to back me up and stuff. So it was pretty cool when that situation happened, because you kind of knew that you were you were in with them, and yeah, you had all their support.
I guess that's one of those, let your performance do the talking kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of, yeah, you had to. It probably got a few weeks into playing with them that they realized that, yeah, I wasn't just here just cause, and that I was being serious and actually wanted to play.
And I saw a video of you, a striker's sort of, promo video thing. You were saying your favourite memories of playing at home, and you used to have to go off the long run and avoid cars when you were playing in the yard. What was that about? It was just sort of playing a game of chips and cricket all at once.
Yeah, pretty much. Reflecting on it, but it was, yeah, we had like this park across the road from us, and obviously, yeah, the road was there, so it wasn't like a busy street, but yeah, it was obviously the occasional car. So yeah, you had to look both ways before running into bowl just to make sure. And yeah, there was probably a few close calls with once we had bowled it that the ball got hit back at cars and stuff. But yeah, it was all a part of the childhood memories, and it was pretty cool looking back at it.
And so we mentioned that your dad also played at Queensland, and he was one of the first teams to win their. Let me get my facts right. So dad was part of the first team to win the Shield at Queensland, and you were in the first women's team to win the T20. What does that mean to you that you've got that sort of connection, not just through cricket but also through a title?
Yeah, it's pretty special. It's something you kind of dream of, and for it to happen was pretty cool. And it's probably still hasn't probably fully synced in how special that is. That yeah, we're both in the first Queensland side to win a comp. So yeah, looking back at it, that probably would be something that I probably fully look back at it once I finish playing and realize how special it actually was. But yeah, to have that, I guess, bond with dad is pretty cool.
And so coming up through the ages, you obviously started, getting known around different setups. You won the Betty Wilson Trophy as a standout player at the under-18 Nationals in 2012. You made 153 in a 50-over game against Tasmania. So you've been on that radar, and you've been involved in Australia A stuff. How hard is it in Australia to sort of break through into that top bracket, because there is just so much talent, and that's great to see that there's this depth in the women's cricket, but as a cricketer, how hard is it to just keep pushing and trying to go to that next level when there's such a array of talent?
Yeah, it's definitely very hard, and it's something you have to make sure you're continuing to try and to improve and get ahead of, I guess, your competition. And yeah, it's something that unfortunately I haven't been able to do, but it's something that you continue to strive for, and you just want to firstly do well for the teams that you're playing for, and if those recognitions come later on, then it's something pretty special. But yeah, like you say, the talent in Australia at the moment is unbelievable, and there's always some new young and exciting cricketers coming through that you have to challenge yourself and continue to get better. So that's always striving to get better, and if those opportunities arise, then you try and take it with both hands.
On a personal side, obviously we know that you were diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. How many years ago was that now?
So that was when I was 19, so that's 8 years ago now.
And so when that diagnosis came about, what did you think that was going to mean for your cricket career, and how have you managed that? How do you cope with that, and how do you use your place as a pro cricketer to sort of encourage others that they too can overcome this and still continue to lead a fulfilling life and pursue their dreams?
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely a shock when I first got told. I absolutely had no idea what MS was, and to be told to still have your goals and aspirations, I knew it was something pretty serious. And yeah, it was a few days in limbo of talking from like the doctor to the neurologist to try and work out how serious I got it and what the next steps were. Was pretty scary. But yeah, just now looking on, I just find myself very lucky that I'm still able to play cricket professionally, and to be able to do everything I love still. I find it very fortunate. I try and use the little platform that I have to raise as much awareness as I can, because like many others, a lot of people didn't know what MS was before I was diagnosed, a lot of my friends and family. So to be able to try and raise that awareness and to try and build people's knowledge and that understanding is what I'm trying to achieve while I have that little platform, and try and inspire people that have it to get out and about and try and keep living their life as best as they can.
And what kind of different things do you have to do to manage that? Like, do you get particularly tired post games, and how do you combat this, and who's there to support you on that side?
Yeah, so obviously playing cricket in the summertime is not ideal because heat brings symptoms on. So it's kind of, especially when I go back to Brisbane now, I've got cooling devices, so like an ice vest, neck coolers that I use, and we make up slushies and stuff. So when I'm out in the field, the 12th or the physio will bring out slushies to me and stuff like that. So I'm cooling from the inside as well. So it's just trying to keep my body temperature as cool as possible, and just using and just communicating that with the staff. And I definitely know for a few years there I was obviously trying to hide my bad days because I was quite ashamed of it. So now it's just trying to communicate as much as I possible and letting them know that I am having a bad day and need to take things a little bit easier.
And I think it's so good that you are open and honest with everyone about it, because I know my sort of understanding of MS probably comes from neighbours, which I know is like a really weird thing to say. And like with Selma Blair and Christina Applegate, I think by you talking about it and sort of normalising it to say, yes, I have MS, but it doesn't stop me from being able to carry out my job. I think it's really great and a really inspiring thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just something, that over the time I've learned a lot of people, spoken to a lot of people that do have it, and just their stories is unbelievable too, and what they've been through and how they've been judged at workplaces because they've got it, and just different stories like that. I even still find myself very fortunate, even though I have the disease, how lucky I am that I've got like being so easily available to MRI scans to check how it's all going and stuff like that. So I still find myself very fortunate talking to people that do have MS. So just trying to inspire as many people as I can.
And I suppose you're able to sort of do that through your ambassador roles with Kiss Goodbye to MS and MS Queensland. Could you explain a little bit about your ambassador role and how you kind of hope to, continue normalising MS?
Yeah, so I work with Novartis Australia as well, and it's just something that I try and like I said, like use my platform to reach out to as many people just so they understand firstly what MS is, what it entails, and just try and normalize it a bit so people feel confident when they go to their workplaces that they can tell their colleagues if they're having a good or bad day, and feel like they're not going to be judged for that, and secondly, obviously, and most importantly, probably trying to find a cure for MS as well.
And aside from slushies and cooling devices, what other things do you use to manage it and to ensure that you're in the best place you can be for match days, for training, and to not let it impact you too negatively in your cricket career?
Yeah, it's obviously trying to get as much trying to get up and about each morning, get some vitamin D, eat fairly well as well. Obviously, those three things are pretty important to making sure you keep on top of it. It's probably like the little things that you probably don't realize that you're like, okay, I need to keep on top of this, but so that it doesn't deteriorate. So it's just making sure, get up, get moving, get some sunlight, and just eat well as well.
Oh, get some sunlight. To live in Australia, as I gaze out the window into the darkening clouds. Anyway, and how do your teammates, what do they do? Do they, obviously they all know about everything, and what is it that they do to support you on that side?
Yeah, they've been amazing. Each setup that I've been in, they all obviously all know, and they say that they always just make sure they just say that they're always there for me if I need, and if they can do anything to help, then let them know. And I'm very much appreciative of that, and just kind of lean on them when I have the good and bad days.
Yeah, and it's, I guess you obviously, you're in that setup and you've been there 2 years now, so you know quite a lot of them, but you have new people coming in and out. So I guess it's just become part of it now. It's an amazing talking point, but I guess for you, it's just, that's part of my life. I get on with it. I know how I manage it. I'm here for the cricket.
Yeah, pretty much. And there's obviously kind of stages where people like that, probably get caught up in that a few times, and the new people coming to be like, oh yeah, so like, I hear you got MS, like, what is it and stuff? And I'm like, oh yeah. Then I just then that's when I have to like catch myself and kind of explain it, and I guess teach people what it's about, because I kind of just, because I'm so used to having it, living with it and dealing with it, that I kind of just try and live as normal life as I possibly can.
When you first got diagnosed, how did that make you feel? Was there ever a moment you thought, this is going to completely stop my cricket career? And how did you manage that? Did you ever find yourself in sort of a dark place around that?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, that's the first thought, especially when you get told to still have your career and aspirations. You're like, yeah, but what about cricket? Obviously, cricket is quite a draining and tolling sport. So, am I still able to do that? And I remember just all these questions running through my head when I first got diagnosed, and it was like the big unknown of if I was still able to continue to play, especially at 19. I felt like I was only just beginning, and to be told that it was it's quite scary. And thankfully, to this stage, it hasn't really stopped me. Obviously, I've had some days where I probably had worse days, and for instance, like I remember after I think one of the days at club cricket in Brisbane, it was a really hot day, and I came off and pretty much my whole right arm went numb. So I was just trying to get on top of those things early, so those things can't happen.
And your right arm goes numb now, and you're like, you know what? I got this. I'll bowl left-handed.
Yeah, fortunate for that.
And so moving on from that, obviously you've learned how to cope with that one, and you're really enjoying your setup at the strikers these days. And we mentioned earlier some of the internationals you've got in there. What's it like to be able to, play alongside people like Laura Wolvart and be that close to seeing that cover drive, and then someone like Deandra Dottin, self-appointed world boss and quite at times. What's it like to have those kind of girls around and see all their different energies and how they play?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and it's one that I've definitely learned over the years to try and soak in as much information off them and just watch how they go about things. Obviously, because they're world class and they're brought over here as internationals, so they obviously do things pretty well and know their routines and everything. So I just try and sit back and watch what they do, and I think I sort of got a bit struck on a Monday night going out there and batting with Wolfie. I was kind of like, oh my God, like, I think this is the first time actually batting with her and stuff. And she's got like, just watching her play cricket is unbelievable. And when D-Dot teeing off for bowling those amazing Yorkers, it's kind of just pinch yourself moment that you're actually in a team playing with them.
And when you are around these sort of established internationals, your Dottins, your Wolfarts, etc., do you ever like go up to them and pick their brains on how to play certain shots or certain bowlers? Because obviously they've got a vast wealth of experience playing all over the world. So I'm just curious to know whether you like have little chats about stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I've probably definitely learnt to do over the years. Obviously, because they do play international cricket, they obviously, like I said, know what they're doing. So when I get the chance to bowl to them in the nets, I try and ask them questions like what they found hard to face, what the lengths were, what the speed was like through the air, and just like stuff like that, just to try and pick their knowledge and try and find their weaknesses while I'm at it.
And so looking ahead, obviously you've got a few more games still this season, hoping to qualify there. But what is the sort of dream for the next year and a half?
The next two games, like you said, are pretty crucial for us to try and then make the finals. And anything can happen in final series. And we made the finals the grand final last year, and hopefully we can do that again. But time will tell with that. And it's kind of just going to the Scorps. So South Australian Scorpions, which is the 50 over stuff, and being in and out of leading that when the Aussie girls are away. So having that privilege. So trying to I guess use my knowledge in and around that, and hopefully win some games with that and bring home the trophy for that competition as well.
I also wanted to ask, with sort of, you've got the T20 comp, so the Women's Big Bash, and then you said you're off to go play in the 50 over comp. How do you sort of switch mentalities between the two? Because obviously T20 is fun, it's fast, it's go out there and slog it. Whereas 50 over cricket, you kind of got to take a bit more care. Not so much care like Test cricket, but you've got to sort of think about it more. You've got to be a bit more methodical. So how do you switch mentalities between the two?
Yeah, those first couple of training sessions back, once you've come out of Big Bash into one day stuff and you start leaving the ball and stuff again, it feels a bit weird. But it just takes a couple of training sessions just to I guess get your feel and get your eye into that competition and then it's an easy transition, because you obviously still need to have intent like you do in the Big Bash, but you obviously got a few more balls when you're out there batting and bowling. You're able to work on that batter a bit more.
And which do you prefer?
Oh, it's a good question. I do like the Big Bash just because it's just so fast, quick, and you're playing against elite competition, especially when you bring that internationals in there. So you get to challenge yourself against the best, and especially as a spinner, because one day you could go for a heap of runs, the next you could take a lot of wickets and not go for many. So it's just the ride of the wave of T20 cricket.
And you're saying that you go to South Australia and when the international girls go off and play, you get to lead that side. How much do you enjoy captaining, and what's your kind of captaincy style like?
Yeah, it's something I'm still working on. When moving down here, I didn't really think of being in the captaincy role. And I remember Luke, the coach, coming to me at the start of last season and being like, the Aussie girls will be away quite a lot this year. We think you'd be a good candidate. And I was like, I was kind of a bit hesitant at the start because I was like, nah, I don't think it's for me and stuff. But yeah, once I bit the bullet and decided to give it a crack, I've really enjoyed it. Yeah, you definitely ride the highs and lows, especially when you lose. You question everything you did out there, and it's just a good experience. And it kind of takes, I guess, it's just that, especially as a bowler, you kind of like that juggling of focusing on your bowling, but then also working out what the team needs as well. So I've definitely loved the challenge of it, and hopefully, continue to do all right for the girls.
And what does a team talk by Captain Jemma Barsby look like? What are your words of inspiration?
Oh, it is shocking. I like the girls laugh at it every time when we go when we get in the huddle just before running out on the field. I stumble my words and like I mix up what I'm going to say because I'm already thinking of like the next thing I'm going to say and just stumble. And I guess it's kind of a good thing because then it kind of breaks the ice and the girls are a bit lighthearted and laughing while we're running out there. So it's definitely not my strong point, and the girls will definitely back me up on that one.
So we might not be expecting a Jemma Barsby TED Talk anytime soon.
Definitely not. It's in, I got to keep improving on that.
And when you're out on the field, what is it that how do you adapt your captaincy and how have you sort of grown into that? How long have you been doing it now as well?
Well, this is this will be my second season. So definitely still learning how to go about it, but it's just trying to stay as calm as possible out on the field and try and, I guess, hide those emotions because if the captain's showing emotion and down the dumps or frustrated, then it will rub off on the rest of the girls. So just trying to stay as calm as possible, clear with the girls and just giving them as much confidence as I can, really.
And obviously, as captain, you're in charge of a whole range of things, field placements, getting a right bowling combination. How stressful do you find that? Because I know for some people, Joss Butler, when he's captaining, he kind of leans on his vice captain Mo and Ali sometimes because he's behind the stumps. Some people like Ben Stokes, they just know what they're doing. So I'm just curious to know what kind of captain you are when it comes to field placements.
Yeah, I definitely, especially last season and will too this year, lent on our keeper to like help me out, especially when I was bowling. And then I wanted to probably more on the tactical side of things. I was like, this is who I'm thinking of bowling for the next over. I just want to focus on like what my over. This is what I'm thinking. Can you tell this person that they're bowling at this end? She's like, yep, no worries. And I kind of give her, obviously because she's the keeper, give her the freedom of doing the field placements because she's got the best eye. And it's kind of just feeding off people or having those go-to people that you obviously go to and trust out there.
Is there anyone's captaincy you look at and you sort of pick bits out of?
I'm getting better at it, obviously, because I'm still new to captaincy. It's kind of something that I never really took too much notice of. But the way Tali McGrath goes about it at striker, she's just that calm, composed in any situation, and when she gives you that ball, that she backs you 100%. So trying to definitely take that side of things into mine.
And so you're working on your captaincy. You're looking ahead to potentially getting to the finals, hopefully, with the strikers this year. What else is sort of top of your agenda of things that you're looking to work on in your cricket at the moment?
I think it's just continually to get better, to be a bit more consistent. Obviously, my batting struggled probably a bit recently, so trying to get a bit more consistent with that and contribute a bit more with the side. So definitely consistency with bat and ball and just try and, I guess, help the younger ones coming through as well.
And do you see yourself as that kind of role model these days? Obviously, women's cricket has grown so much across the world, but especially in Australia is pretty well known. It's got a great setup. What does it mean to know that there's so many more role models out there for young girls wanting to come into cricket? And did you have that when you first got into it?
Yeah, it's pretty cool and something I probably don't think about too much as well. It was very evident to me on the weekend when we had home games and you see a lot of the young girls from your club side come out and want your autograph and stuff. You're like, I play club with you. Like, what's the deal? They're like, no, can you like sign, please? And you're just like, Yeah, okay. And it's kind of like those moments there, you're like, okay, actually, like, yeah, you do play a big part in the young generation growing up. So it's just being mindful of that and being appreciative of that. And for myself, it's probably more just looking at, like, I guess, the men's side of things, because the women's, I didn't know too much about it when I was growing up. So yeah, it was probably more like the men. Like, I liked watching like Mark Hussey, Matthew Hayden, and that. So yeah, it was probably more the likes of that for me.
And obviously, with the way the women's game is going, it means more sort of scrutiny in the media, more social media presence. How are you finding that? And how are you finding sort of being recognised compared to about 5 years ago, where the game perhaps wasn't as strong as it was, where you could still, like you say,
Yeah.
you could still go and have your job away from cricket, which you still can do. But like now, social media is such a big part of the women's game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely something we're still getting used to. You kind of can get caught up in looking at what people write about you and stuff like that. But yeah, it's something you kind of got to look at and laugh at, and know that they're probably people that wish they were in our position, that you're out there playing sport professionally and stuff like that. So you kind of just got to try and not let it affect you as much, and yeah, get on with what you know best.
And how much are you a social media, you know, into your social media kind of girl, or do you leave the TikToking to the teenagers?
Nah, definitely I'm not on TikTok, so that's definitely one of the trends that I'm not up on. But yeah, I do go on Instagram and Twitter and all that. And so yeah, that's what definitely makes me feel old when I'm not up with the latest trends like TikTok.
So we won't see you creating some kind of Megan Trainor dance, which I think is the thing this week.
Absolutely not.
You know, you and D Dot out there doing the Megan Trainor dance.
I would have to have a fair few beverages to get me to do that.
When you win the Big Bash this year?
Potentially, yeah,
Okay,
potentially.
I'm holding you to that one. And then I just wanted to add on to that bit about role models there. Who inspired you most when you were like in life, but also in cricket?
Yeah, it's a good question. I get asked this quite a bit, who my role models are of that, and to be honest, I didn't really have too many. I just kind of just played for the love of it, and I did like watching, yeah, like Mark Hussey, Matthew Hayden, Ricky Ponting bat, just made it look so easy, and stuff. So yeah, probably enjoyed watching them bat, but to be honest, I didn't really have too many heroes growing up.
You can just be your own hero, yeah?
Definitely not.
And I know Georgie spoke to you earlier about the fact that your dad played cricket and because he played cricket and then you took it up, was there ever a sense of pressure, for you when you played cricket? Because obviously the Barsby name was already known by this point. So it can sometimes, for certain players, having a parent or having a sibling playing cricket can sometimes have an adverse effect instead of a positive one.
No, I didn't find that too much. Obviously, yeah, I knew what Dad had done and stuff like that. It was probably kind of nice. He was obviously he opened the batting and was more of a batter, where I've come probably more the bowling side of things. So I couldn't really be compared to him in that aspect. So yeah, definitely probably over the time he's definitely given me some of his thoughts and opinions and what he would have probably done in situations and stuff. But no, it's all coming from a good place, and he means well.
And how competitive were Barsby backyard cricket games?
Oh, way too competitive. Absolutely. Any game of like sport that we played in the backyard, it always ended up probably in tears or fights, definitely.
So it's like the family Monopoly game. You know, most people
Yeah.
are sports throwing and you guys are out there just shouting and playing cricket.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice. Well, maybe you could think of an excuse not to play it on Christmas Day this year. Avoid all.
Yeah.
But I suppose, though, in a way, although it's like very, the Monopoly-esque Christmas Day sort of vibe, I suppose it kind of fosters that competitiveness in you from an early age and that drive to succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely very competitive. And when I step on over that rope, I'm very competitive and want to win. And it probably got me in trouble when I was that younger age. I kind of just went out there and didn't care who I was playing. I told them what I thought and stuff, and it got me into trouble a few times. And thankfully, I've matured and grown up a little bit now that I realize it's not the smartest thing to do, but definitely still very competitive out on the field, and want to do the best I can for the team.
I think I might have come to the end of my deep diving questions. Alex, do you have any more to throw in?
Yeah, what's been your favourite moment of the Big Bash so far with all the teams that you've played for? So like one defining moment from each team you've played for.
Oh, I actually have the worst memory. It's funny because people are like, oh, go back and like, oh, like, can you tell me what happened this game? I was like, I honestly have no idea. But for the Heat, it definitely would be us winning the comp. There was, yeah, I remember playing the Sixers, and it was definitely that hoodoo. We could never really beat them, and then to beat them in the final was unbelievable. And then just the experience over in Perth. It was the first time moving away from like Queensland and that setup, and to experience that and yeah, how they went with it and how welcoming they were. It was a pretty cool experience with them. And then with the Strikers, it's just I think it's just like that cool chill vibe and to be able to make the final last year and have that experience with the girls was it was something pretty cool.
Okay, so we like to always try and round off with a few more fun questions, just quick fire kind of ones. And one we always go to as our first one is, what is your favourite item at a cricket tee?
At a cricket tee, what's that?
No, like a traditional cricket tea that you have at cricket. So we're thinking scones, finger sandwiches,
Oh,
little sausages. You guys probably have like lamingtons or something gross, like
we don't
Vegemite
even
sandwiches.
we don't even do that.
No.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Okay, so like between innings then, or like before you go out to bat, surely there must be some sort of spread that you guys tuck into.
No, I remember. I think in adult, like definitely in South Australia before COVID, they used to do that, but haven't done it anymore. So it's kind of just bring your own food and yeah, deal with it yourself, really.
I'm honestly
Listen, you
flabbergasted.
can't see it. You can't see it, but Georgie is absolutely like baffled and
Honestly, it's
shocked.
like
She's
the pinnacle. I honestly think that's why people in England take up cricket, because you
oh yeah,
get
just so they can eat scones, eat cakes, drink tea, and go out and bat.
Would be
there's
pretty
always
cool.
like crisps in a
Chicken
bowl and
nuggets,
like cold pizzas.
pizza, wagon
Yeah,
wheel,
so
which
good.
is the whole. I won't explain what a wagon wheel is because that's a whole discussion for another day.
Yeah.
Honestly, wow. Okay, well, I'm speechless. But
Which for Georgie is very rare.
thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't have a podcast without someone talking, so no one is
Yeah.
listening to me right now, so you just have to hear me. Another one we love to ask is, what's the best sledge you've ever used or heard?
Oh, I guess the one I heard that got used against me was I remember one of the girls was in like first slip. I was fresh as and they were like, why are you like they were just saying, yeah, like obviously because my last name's Barsby and then I got the nickname Barbie at the start there and they were like, oh, like they were just spraying me about why I was called Barbie and all of that. So yeah, it was good initiation into the big girls cricket.
Favorite musician or artist?
Oh, Adele. Has an unbelievable voice. Like I wish I could sing like her. That'd be unbelievable. And she's just got like quirky, like just as herself and stuff. So yeah, I'd definitely say Adele.
Go to karaoke.
Oh, I feel like a woman. Yeah,
Great choice.
yeah.
Who's the team DJ?
At the moment, it'd be Maddie Penner. She's definitely one that's hot on the tunes and makes sure like everyone adds to the Spotify playlist. So yeah, I'd definitely say Maddie Penner.
And who's got the best and worst style in the team?
Oh, I'd say the worst is definitely Darcy Brown. Like she just rocks up in whatever, and yeah, just I have to say her and best. Oh, that's a good question. I'll have to say probably like Megan Dixon in the Strikers. She prides herself on her style, so I definitely have to say her.
Does Deandra still carry that massive like speaker around with her everywhere she goes?
She hasn't brought it out yet, so I'd have to say no.
Oh my god, it's so heavy. She made me carry it. It was so heavy. It's like a massive JBL Bluetooth speaker.
Oh, really?
It's probably like the same weight as a cricket bat. Probably heavier.
Oh, wow.
Quite heavy.
Last Netflix series or TV series you binged?
I don't binge any.
I rate that. I
Yeah.
hate a TV binge. I like a regular once a week watch.
No.
Yeah, none for me.
No, it stresses me out when it's released weekly. Like Grey's Anatomy on Disney Plus right now is like one episode a week, and I'm just like, just
Also, Grey's Anatomy
release.
came out so long ago, didn't it? That you could probably just watch it back.
No, but like the new season, we're on season 19 at this point.
That's too long. Let's run it. Last book you read?
I do not read.
Fair.
Yeah, do not read. It's not for me.
Fave Aussie dish.
Oh, a good chicken, like chicken snitty. at the moment. Yeah, that we had a group going on that would go and like go to all the different pubs for like the different specials and see which one did the best, like best, yeah, chicken city.
What is a chicken city? Just for not just me, but for our listeners
Oh,
who are perhaps
like a chicken schnitzel.
Oh,
oh, okay.
Yeah, so just yeah, shortened to chicken snitty. Rolls off the tongue better.
if there was one Australian snack you could take with you if you had to move out of Australia, what would it be?
Oh, definitely probably be Tim Tams. I got a massive sweet tooth, so yeah, definitely have to be them.
And which flavour?
Oh, any, pretty much. Like I'd smash any of them, really.
And do you do a Tim Tam slam?
Nah, just
No.
the whole hard, just the Tim Tam. Yeah, does its job.
I think they're better refrigerated.
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, I'll have them. I wouldn't mind having it. Yeah, in or out.
They would definitely be something that would be at a cricket tee if you guys had.
Yeah, for sure. Someone would bring a packet for sure.
Mm. If you weren't a cricketer and you could be anything you wanted to be, what would you want to do?
Well, for ages, I'll definitely say that I wanted to run my own cafe, but probably over the years it's changed. Probably at the moment, I'd like to be like a sports massage, like therapist person, because you'd still be able to get it, like go around and travel with teams and potentially go around the world and stuff. So probably be that at the moment.
Favorite ground you've played at?
Oh, SCG was pretty cool. Like to actually play on there. Adelaide Oval's cool. Yeah, they're definitely the ones in Australia. Yeah, I'd probably have to say them, to be honest.
And a ground you haven't played at but would like to?
The MCG, that'd be pretty cool. Or I've been and watched, well, like I remember I was very lucky enough to like travel with the Aussie girls like ages ago, and they were playing over in England, and they got to go to like they played at Lords, and I was just in and around there, and to be there was pretty cool. So to actually play on Lords would be pretty cool.
If there was one person you could get out and one person you could hit for six, who would you pick?
Oh, wowza.
It's like a full-on clean bowled.
It's a very good question. There's probably a few. I'd probably have to say like Simriti Mandana. She'd be like up there. Who else would be up there? Soph Devine, because she's like unbelievable against off spin, so she'd probably be up there. And then to be able to hit the six, oh, anyone really. I struggled to do it as it is, so if I could hit anyone, it'd be amazing.
Take a fifer or score a T20 century?
Oh, I'd have to probably say T20 century, because I know that's never going to happen, so I'd have to say that.
You never know. There's like an exclusive club. There's the exclusive club of international players that have scored a century in each format. Although no one's scored a century in the 100 yet, so it's not technically every.
Ooh, look out! Yeah.
Can you imagine if you came over to the 100 and that was the first thing you did? Scored 100 in the 100.
Well, I would shout everyone, because I know that would never happen.
I mean, stranger things have happened, so you know.
What's your go-to drink of choice? What's your cocktail?
That's a tough one. Like I like a mango daiquiri or something like that for a cocktail. I don't mind a beer, or like a seltzer or something like that. But yeah, cocktails would be like a mango daiquiri, something nice and refreshing on a hot summer's day.
I actually am a big fan. This is one for you, a slushy margarita.
Oh yes, nice. Yeah.
If there was one piece of advice you could give to your younger self, what would it be?
Just to have fun and I guess soak in as much knowledge as you can, and know that probably I guess all the coaches are wanting to help you, but knowing like probably not everything is the pieces of advice that they give you might not work for you. So just trying to like I guess soak it all in, but work out what's best for you. But most importantly, have fun.
Well, that seems like a really nice way to end off this morning / evening's podcast.
Yeah.
Last thing we need from you, Jemma, is where can our listeners find you on social media?
Yeah, so I'm on Twitter and Instagram. So it's Jemma with AA on Instagram.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Jemma. We've worked a time difference. The sun has come out, and that's all thanks to you. It's been so fab to chat to you. I'm going to go away and practice bowling with my left arm, or I can't even brush my teeth with my left arm. So there's a lot of work to be done. I can play lacrosse left arm, nothing else. So I'm going to go away and practice that. You're such an inspiration to so many out there, and to see what you've overcome and still being out there absolutely bossing it is amazing. And thank you so much for joining us, and have a nice evening.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy your day.
Massive thank you to Jemma for coming on and being a guest on the podcast. Also, massive thanks to her for being so open about her battle with MS and the impact it has on her being able to play cricket. It's also really cool to know that to get away from cricket, she has a part-time job in a little bakery as a barista, just trying to, despite women's cricket being on the rise, she still wants that normality and that familiarisation with, having bits of herself that are away from the media. And to all our listeners, if you want to keep up to date with everything that we're doing, you can follow us on Twitter at WCricketChat, on Instagram at Women's Cricket Chat, and if you want to give us a like on Facebook, we are Women's Cricket Chat. If you'd like to give our personal Twitters a follow, then it's at Hannity1194, at Georgie Heath 27, at Cassie Coombs 98, at Mehika Barsby, and I'm at Alex Jane Pereira. This has been the Women's Cricket Chat. Tune in next time.